Pavia is a project that is building a metaverse on Cardano. They aim to be an interoperable project. They have a team with some very interesting and experienced professionals, especially in terms of working in the gaming industry. And in addition, they are working actively to engage the community in this project so that the community starts building assets and actually helping in the process of generating the world and generating utility to attract new users and make sure they have good reasons to keep on coming back. They also have had some significant adoption on the Cardano blockchain, and in this video, we'll dive deeper into what they have achieved so far, what they have planned for the future in terms of their roadmap, dive into the token and the tokenomics, and also take a look at the Pavia improvement proposals, an interesting method for Pavia to get some feedback from the community. But if you want to know more about Pavia and check if they have what it takes to succeed in their ambitious endeavor, then this is a video you should watch until the end. As always, nothing in this video is financial advice, only educational content. And if you want to learn more about Pavia overall, their mission, their vision, some of their significant accomplishments, and also how you can participate in the project, either by becoming a landowner, creating your own avatar to roam around in the Pavia Metaverse, or even enjoying and joining the Pavia Creators Program and assist Pavia in the process of building the metaverse, then you should definitely watch the video here at the top. This video is almost like a part one of the fundamental analysis to Pavia, where we dive deeper into Pavia, the project, and also the team. And now this video that you're watching right here is like the part two, where we dive deeper into other important things of the project, such as the token, the tokenomics, what they have completed from their roadmap, what they have planned for the future as well, and also the Pavia improvement proposals, for example, and other important specific dynamics to the Pavia project. After these two videos, I believe you should have a great notion about Pavia and a fairly complete fundamental analysis so that you feel more comfortable about the project. Of course, you should always try to complete it by doing your own research. Sorry for the voice and for any cuts into this video, but as you can probably see, I'm a bit sick. But yeah, I'm doing my best to try to be consistent because after all, the show must go on, right? Let's get into what matters and start taking a look at the Pavia roadmap. We have this version here that might be a bit too small for you guys. With everything they have planned until the fourth quarter of 2023, but we will also have here this version on the website where we go to each stage of the Pavia roadmap. We'll start with the version from the website because this version has the things they had for the past year, and I think it's important to take a look at everything they had planned and what were they actually able to achieve. And starting by the first quarter, you know, they were able to actually add liquidity to Cardano dexes. They started the process of asset creation and start working with groups of creators for the generation of the Pavia Compatible Assets, in addition to setting the actual infrastructure for gaming and doing the last land sale in the third quarter. So a quarter with a lot of work. Then in this period, last year, they also updated their tokenomics and developed Pavia Compatible Builder tool so that creators could start developing their assets and help create the metaverse. Pavia also started working in their smart contract marketplace and developing the smart contracts for it, and they also worked in terms of dropping the PAV to landowners. There was also a lot of work in terms of the Pavia compatible assets, trying to deploy them into the game, and also a lot of work in terms of developing the whole Pavia environment and the metaverse in itself. In addition, they also launched and developed the option to create and customize your own NFT and announced dates for the full deployment in the 2023 roadmap of the project that we'll dive later into. At the end of the year, they were able to update their builder and have the first Pavia Plaza event. Okay, the first live event was in the Pavia Plaza, and the first chance that the supporters of the project had to actually test the project. And here we can see, for example, some of the things that the supporters dropped online. Here is one of the supporters that shows the experience. Of course, the resolution is much worse, but overall, I took a look at all of these and some of the comments that were shown by the users, and yeah, I mean, it was really nice, and people overall were very satisfied with the experience of actually roaming around in Pavia and what they could do. In 2003, they started marketing the Mac paths as well, and they had the full release of their builder tool. I'm not sure what's the process on that, if they were actually able to achieve it, but right now, if you have some 3D knowledge, you can actually build the assets. So you can already create Pavia compatible assets. So I think this builder tool is likely one that is more for people that already have experience generating 3D assets, and not a general builder tool for everyone out there wanting to participate. Then we also had the Pavia Plaza, the District 1 and 2 that are supposed to go online. I'm not sure this actually happened. I tried to research and see if I could somehow assess the Pavia Metaverse and check the districts online, but so I was not able to find anything so far. So I do believe this is something they probably weren't able to do yet, and they might be a little bit late in terms of their roadmap, but probably will be something they will be able to launch soon, let's hope. In Q2 2023, they want to start using the paths, the max, and creator dynamics to generate utility with the story and the lore. As we have seen from previous videos, paths will be animals, let's say, in Pavia that you can collect, and paths that are match compatible will have special utilities. Everything, it's still extremely secretive, but during this year, we'll likely be able to experience it all. For the rest of the year, the focus is also on becoming more cross-chain interoperable, launch the Pavia marketplace for land trading, with the Pavia maps, the coordinates to make everything easier so that you can easily acquire the land next to you and build your own estate and develop your property. And they also want to launch a MVP product where users are actually able to build their own world, which I think is super interesting. Plus, they're launching their Pavia Dev Playground, where you'll have 100 plot of multiplayer land in prototype for people to join, hang out, test, and so that Pavia can actually see how everything goes and do improvements along the way, which will be very important and crucial for the project, I would say. Certainly a very cool and ambitious roadmap, I would say, and if everything goes well, we'll actually be able to start using Pavia and enjoy our in-game assets already this year, which I think is awesome. However, it's important to notice that the roadmap can be subjected to change as Pavia is always evolving, and one thing that can contribute to that change is actually the Pavia improvement proposal mechanism. So basically, here we have the Pavia improvement proposals. This is a mechanism that allows the Pavia community to actually provide their feedback. They can directly create their own proposals and suggest new ideas for the Pavia metaverse and ecosystem, ideas that will in fact be voted here by the community, as you can see. A very Reddit style like voting. Might seem simple, but it's super important. It's super important to get the feedback of the people for which you're actually working for and developing a product. By the same token, for me, it's also super important to have your feedback. I would love if you think that this video is being interesting, you're learning something new, for you to please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and don't forget to turn on all the notifications bells so that you in fact get the notifications whenever new videos come out. That is the best way for me to know that you're actually enjoying this content, so I would really appreciate if you could do that. But coming back here to Pavia, yeah, it's very important for them, the feedback, to make sure they're developing the right things, and here they can actually get there with the proposals and also assessing the community voting. But it's important to notice that this is more like a suggestion mechanism where people can vote on the proposals to show their support and to raise awareness. Is not binding at all, and at the end of the day, it will be the Pavia team deciding which proposals will actually be applied and if it makes sense to apply them into the project as well. In terms of this forum, I went through it, and there's a very large number of proposals and some very interesting proposals here to see, although there are not that many voters if you think about it, especially because these are the most voted proposals, the one you're seeing, and there are so many more proposals, some of them that don't even have a single vote, even though they have some interesting content. But yeah, a lot of great suggestions here, and for example, in the most voted proposals, there is also some interesting discussions within the community to actually dive deeper into the proposal and try to make it better and give their opinion. Now it's time to dive deeper into the tokenomics, and it's important to notice that this is the initial tokenomics, and then we also have here, in addition to the initial tokenomics, the new and updated ones that we discussed in the roadmap. But there are not many changes, fortunately, so we'll be able to see a lot from here, I think, and get a more visual perspective. So yeah, Pavia has a total supply of 2 billion tokens. 25% of these tokens were actually already airdropped to landowners from the sale 1 and 2 in December of 2021. This was to thank early adopters for being there. And initially, while they have 708,000 addresses, as we can see here, around 780,000 addresses holding these tokens, they were able to actually spread out to 16,000 wallets, which is an interesting level of decentralization, I would say. 25% of the token allocation will go for liquidity and utility of the token. In fact, they already have some liquidity in some decentralized exchanges, and I don't think they weren't able to achieve one of their goals that they have here in their tokenomics updated paper, to actually have a major centralized exchange using Pavia and with Pavia registered. Then we have 30% of the tokens going for project development and the ecosystem. This allocation also includes tokens that can be used to promote and fund exciting developments, which will in fact enhance the experience for people that use the game, either landowners or just users. And yeah, it can be, for example, to provide grants for people to develop new things that are needed for the community and to fund ideas that the community actually wants. And finally, we have 20% of the token going to investors, the core team, and advisors. Okay, these tokens are held securely under smart contracts, but unfortunately, we don't know what's the right division between what's going for the team to advisors and what is actually going to investors, and also no information in terms of the smart contract vesting, information about the early emissions of the Pavia token for any categories, not for the team and the advisors, but also the other ones in terms of liquidity, or for example, in terms of the project development. The only thing we have information about is the ones that were already airdropped to the landowners and that sum up to 25% of the token total supply. Certainly, as investors, that would be an interesting information to have. In terms of utility, Pavia will be used inside the metaverse for a wide range of activities. It will be used to purchase the in-game assets and trade them. You'll have wearables, equipment, trading creator assets, as well, price pools, transport mechanism, and everything. Basically, will be the token that will power the metaverse, and a token you can also earn through achievements inside the game to participation in the activities, and that will basically generate an in-game economy that's powered by the Pavia token, where you'll have some activities to earn it and some activities to spend it. Reflecting on the tokenomics, I think it seems like a fine tokenomics, like a good tokenomics overall. Although I would have liked to see less tokens being airdropped, especially considering that the airdrop was all at once, a large chunk of the supply. And maybe it would be better to have like a more progressive airdrop. I think they could keep that value, the 25%, but make it more progressive, or have like several little airdrops without any notice for the current holders at each given point, to give incentives for holders of land to actually hodl to their land and bring utility for the land before the actual launch of the metaverse. Another important thing in terms of the tokenomics would be to understand exactly what are the plans for the token in terms of the ecosystem growth, understand how they are going to be spent. We don't have much information about that. And it seems that right now will just be the team randomly deciding who to give these tokens and what projects they want to find to fund. But yeah, overall, looking at Pavia and considering both this video and the previous video, I think they have done some really interesting progress. They have some great graphics. They have a great team, or at least some great elements. Not everyone in the team seems fantastic because not everyone is doxed, but some like Paul Manuel have a lot of experience in gaming. And in addition, they've also gained some significant adoption inside the Cardano ecosystem. So yeah, on my side, the only thing I would like to see more in Pavia is a little bit more transparency and information, because during the research it was not easy to find some of the things and the information was very scattered, and there is also a lot of information that is kind of lacking. So it's a bit hard sometimes to get informed about Pavia and to learn about this cool project, I would say, which is not great for the development of the project. It would also be cool for to see more interactions from the Pavia team in terms of the Pavia improvement proposals, and see them actually, pushing people for more information in terms of their proposals. And also in the future, it would be cool to have another mechanism for governance more developed, where the community could actually contribute to some decisions and have a stronger say in the direction and in the decision making of the process. But of course, I don't want to be unfair, because I think it's their approach. They choose a different approach, the private team. They are taking a more Web2 like approach of working in secret and trying to work a lot, create things, and then deliver, surprising individuals with the results, and where they aim to have a core specialized team that is focused on developing that project, and where the decision making is done as fast as possible to deliver products and results as fast as possible as well. Please feel free to share your opinion about Pavia in the end of the video in the comments. And before finishing, I do have a super important question for you. Do you think that the wider crypto adoption will start with the metaverse, or for example with crypto gaming? On my side, I believe crypto games will likely come first. They'll be a bigger driver for adoption and bring people in a simpler way, and then they will be overcome or dominated by this metaverse project trend. In that topic, what if I told you that there is a project building on Cardano that is trying to create some very simple and very engaging and addicting kinds of mini games that people can come and play for the fun and also gain some crypto in the process? Well, you can learn a little bit more by watching the video here on the end screen, and on my side, I'll see you there.